Hey there guys, we're taking a look at Need for Speed Unbound running on the AMD Ryzen 5 5560U. Now you're currently looking at the game running right now at the lowest in-game graphics settings. We are at 1080p with FSR 2.0 set to the performance preset. Now the level of performance that we're getting out of the game like this isn't exactly remarkable, though at least our 1% lows are very close to our averages. But averages in the mid-20s isn't exactly the greatest experience. Now visually speaking, the game doesn't really look that bad, honestly. FSR 2.0 is pretty impressive in the sense that it does manage to actually keep a pretty solid image even on these lower settings, at least compared to the original version of FSR, where using the performance preset really wasn't that great of a move, as the impact on the visual quality could be extremely rough. But it was usually one of the only ways to actually get games to perform really well on these APUs. Now the game also supports dynamic resolution scaling, so if we just use that instead of using FSR, you can see that we do get a little bit higher performance in terms of the averages, 1% lows remaining around the same range. So for the most part, there is really no difference in terms of the performance. Visually speaking, I could see somebody make an argument on whether or not they prefer this or they prefer FSR. Personally, I think overall I preferred the image of FSR, but FSR does tend to make everything look a little bit fuzzier and blurrier. But you see a lot less of the shimmering that you would normally see just from the resolution dropping automatically on its own. Really, the only way I actually managed to get this game to perform consistently above 30 FPS was to drop the in-game render resolution down to 720p and then drop the render scaling from that down to 75%. So we are running this at 75% of 720p. And visually speaking, it really reminds me of old racing games that I would actually play on the Nintendo DS, especially in the fact that things at a distance just look more like just blurry sprites, and the road itself kind of just starts to lose any clear visual image. So it's definitely not, visually speaking, a great experience, but this was the best way to actually boost our performance level. And as you can see, it's not perfect either. It's pretty much the only way we get an above 30 FPS average, but the 1% lows don't get to that 30 FPS, which means that we are going to see some consistent dips below that. So I would say that this game is not really that playable unless you're extremely desperate to play this specific game on this system. But I would recommend maybe checking out some of the other Need for Speed games before you jump into this one, as a lot of the other ones do perform significantly better on this hardware. But anyways, I will see you guys next time.